Welcome into another edition of Nets Pod with Sarah Kustok, presented by Ticketmaster. I'm Sarah Kustok, and I'm with a very, very special guest who's having an all-star season, Michael Porter Jr. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But first, I want you to take me to a game. Points go next to your name on the box score.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what it is and how it is that you score. That's your favorite way to score.
My favorite way to score, I would say, probably, I would say, the 3-pointers are always nice, coming off the screens, shooting the threes. But I would say, like, when I read the defense and get the backdoor cuts, when they're overplaying me and I'm able to, use their aggressiveness against them and find the backdoor cuts. I've always kind of like looked for that throughout the game, get easy buckets. I feel like that kind of gets me into more of a flow and more of a rhythm. And then from there, I feel like the tough jumpers are a little easier.
No, I feel like throughout the course of these games, we talk about the degree of difficulty of shots you make, and it feels like you don't even see the defense. I mean, there's shots that it's like, what? What's the most difficult shot for you to make in a game?
I would say, that goes way back to when I was young. I remember when I first started shooting a jump shot. I used to shoot like a set shot where I would like push it from my waist a little bit. And when I used to shoot like that, I would have to create a lot of space to get my shot off, or else it would get blocked. And then I kind of transitioned to a jump shot, probably 4th, 5th grade, and my dad had me start real close to the hoop because I wasn't strong enough to shoot that way from further out. But as I got more comfortable doing that, I just was able to not need a lot of space to get my shot off because I was tall and I was able to jump and shoot the ball like a real jump shot. So now, I feel like if I have the space, it's a matter of make or miss. Like, that's how I feel like. There's probably a couple guys in the league that can get a really, really good contest if they get close enough. But for the most part, I feel like if I jump and shoot the ball, like if you get too close, it's probably gonna be a foul. Otherwise, I feel like it's just a make or miss at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When did you grow?
When did I grow?
Yeah, like were you always tall, or
yeah,
did you? Because you, at your size, you play like a guard.
I had I kind of was a late bloomer a little bit. Like when I was like in the 5th grade, I played on the #1 team in the country in Indiana, and like our center was, it was crazy because he was like kind of had gone through that process a little bit earlier than me. So he was, I had kids on my 5th grade team that had a mustache, armpit hair, and all these things. And me, like, I was a late bloomer, so I didn't really shoot up until probably like 7th, 8th grade. But then like now I'm taller than all those guys. But at that time that they were taller than me, so I was a little bit of a late bloomer. So I would say probably 7th, 8th grade is when I kind of shot up. I was 6'3" in the 8th grade, and then by the 9th or 10th grade, I was like 6'9". So.
Okay. You talked about your shooting, and we see it. But for you, throughout the course of a game, if you're going through stretches that you're not hitting at the efficiency that we've seen or certain stuff, like what goes through your mind when you're making or missing shots or you're getting clean looks and not going through? How do you maintain what seems like the same level of confidence?
Yeah, I just know that, my team is on this team. They are depending on me. So I know that I can't let a missed shot or like I can't start deferring too much. In Denver it was a little different. If I kind of missed a few shots, I kind of would get in my head and be like, maybe there's a better shot we can find. On this team, I just feel like I got to be ultra aggressive, and I feel like being that way helps my teammates feel confident as well. And I tell Noah, Yegor, all these guys the same thing, like make or miss, like shoot these same shots. And I feel like Jordy kind of implements that into us. Like, he doesn't care if you make the shot. He cares about the type of shots that we're shooting. So even if I miss, he's staying in my ear. Mike, those are good shots. Keep shooting those. We need you to take those. And it truly is like when you have a coach that really believes in you and your abilities, it can make the world of difference in your capabilities on the floor. Every NBA player is talented, but when you have a coach that believes in you and reiterates that over and over again, like that truly does help. So I think that's helping all the guys from me to the rookies.
Jordy saw you in your early years in Denver. How would you describe the difference or just what he was like as an assistant coach with that Nuggets team and now playing for him as a head coach with this group?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's like anything. Like now that he has like a bigger role, like similar to me, like in Denver, kind of, playing with one of the best players of all time and playing with Jamal Murray, who already had their thing going. I kind of had to take a back seat and really like focus on how can I help this team succeed. And I feel like similarly with Jordy, like as an assistant coach, he's just kind of buying into the culture and helping in any way he can with what we had going on already. But now that he has his own team that he gets to put his DNA on, his fingerprints on, it's a completely different level of like seeing the mastermind behind kind of how he coaches, the way he sees things. And so, yeah, he was a great assistant coach in Denver, but I had no idea like how he really thought the game and until I was playing under him as a head coach. So I feel like it's two completely different ways that I'm seeing Jordy, which I feel like, from what I've seen, he was destined to be a head coach, not an assistant. So I'm enjoying my time with him so far.
Enjoying your time with him and just even how you're playing under him, the entire team. We talked to you before the season started, and it was the anticipation of bigger role, more usage, how you're going to have the type of responsibilities as the number one go-to guy, and you have flourished, like by all accounts in all areas, not just the scoring. How would you frame this experience for you, and knowing that I know you have in different points of your career, but your professional career, how you've been able to be at this point right now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like I said it early on, like there's going to be it's going to be a learning slope, and it's going to be, a learning curve and all those things. But I knew just who I was and that I'd be able to adapt. I'd be able to see how I was being guarded, how it was to have the higher usage, and I would be able to adapt, whether that's spending more time in the weight room, more time getting my conditioning right, more time working on different shots in my workouts. I knew once I kind of became familiar with what was going to be thrown at me, I knew I was going to be able to adapt and figure it out, because I feel like one of my strengths as a player is just adaptability. I could go play on a team like Denver, who already kind of has a lot going, and I could, make that work, and then I can play on a team where I'm needed and more responsibilities given to me, and I can make that work. So that's something I pride myself on. And even when Cam comes back, it's going to look different as it is right now, So I think as a player in the NBA, one of the main talents you can have is this adaptability and being able to be thrown in different situations, different teams, and figure it out from there.
How do you feel like your leadership has evolved this year? You've talked about not even the young guy. I mean, you yourself, by all accounts, on different teams would be considered young. You're the vet and the one that guys are looking to. How do you feel like that has evolved just in this short time here with this group?
Yeah, I mean, it really feels kind of like my natural like habitat, like my natural role. That's how I always was coming up, playing basketball, being the best player on the team, being, one of the best players in the country, leading my AAU team to a championship, leading my high school team under Brandon Roy to a national championship. Like I always was dependent on and looked at as a leader. And that's a lot of guys, that at some point in their life, they've always been the man on their team. Then when you get to the NBA and there's players that are better than you, more experienced than you, have seen more than you, a lot of guys struggle, and me included, struggle with like learning how to kind of like just take a back seat, But I always felt like I was like had innate ability to be a leader. So on this team, it's really felt really comfortable for me to just be in the guys' ears, be in the young guys' ears and relate to them and tell them, talk to them about stories about when I was a rookie and give them confidence and tell them, keep shooting the ball. And I've seen tremendous growth from the rookies all the way to, I think one of the biggest guys that I feel like I'm trying to have an impact on is just Noah, because I see similarities in the way he can shoot the ball, the way he can drive closeouts. And I feel like his game has really evolved, and I'm staying in his ear, trying to keep him confident and keep him, because when he's in attack mode, we're a completely different team. So it definitely feels comfortable, and I just like the group of guys and how willing everyone is to, hear each other out. And I feel like we got really good chemistry as a team.
What did winning a title teach you?
I would say it taught me, everything that it takes to win at a high level. I feel like, and I told the guys this, a couple of days ago, like there's been multiple games that we've been in the fourth quarter, and then we kind of let go of the rope a little bit. and we ended up losing in the last 5, 4, 3 minutes where a team goes on a little run. I told them, like, good teams find ways to win those games and bad teams find ways to lose. And I told them, like, we want to be a good team. Like, we got to figure out how to hit adversity. Teams go on runs and we don't let go of the rope. And a 4-point run now turned into an 8-point run. And I felt like yesterday against Toronto, that kind of happened. We hit some adversity. They came back from a large deficit. They took the lead, and then we kind of were just as a team, we're like, listen, we've been in this situation before. Let's lock in. And we did it. We turned the game around and we ended up winning by double digits. And I feel like those are big growth moments. You know, there was another game in Boston where it was dicey in the fourth quarter, and then we ended up pulling it out on the road. Like, those experiences, the more of those experiences you can stack, the more you can, like, go back in your brain when those same things come up in a game, and you can kind of have confidence. Oh, I've done this before. Oh, I've seen this before. And so winning a championship and being in the playoffs and seeing so many different situations, it just gives you more in your mind to go back to that can really develop you and slow the game down as a player when you're seeing different things.
With that being said, like, what is it in you in particular that you have had some of the biggest moments and the most high leverage situations when the lights are brightest? Obviously, and in many of those through Denver. Like, where does that come from? Where did that come from in you?
I just feel like I've never shied away from the moment. I think that honestly comes from the amount of work you put in and the amount of confidence you have in yourself. And yeah, like, I've had a different road than some NBA players with some of the injuries I've experienced, but I've always been resilient. I've always known in my heart and in my soul that I put forth the effort. So, like, when you're faced in those situations where there's nerves and things like that, you always revert back to your work. And if you know that you've been getting enough sleep at night, getting in the gym, eating right, all these little things, then I feel like your body kind of just goes back to that and you're able to perform. So it's definitely more mental than physical, but if you know mentally that you've been doing the right things, then you have confidence in yourself, I feel like. So
you've taken all these steps in your career, you marked some things off the list. Your teammates have said it. A lot of us have said it. You're having an all-star year. Mm-hmm. What does first that mean to you to hear the amount of people, and especially your teammates, who I believe you care about most, say that about you?
I mean, it means a lot because, like, my goal, and it means a lot for a lot of different reasons, because my goal was never to just make the NBA. My goal was always to be one of the best players. And, like, I had a very difficult road, and to come out the other side of that and to be viewed in this light it's really cool, especially because, me and my boy Trae Young were talking about this earlier today, that the NBA is such a crazy thing because narratives can change so quick. Like, I was in the playoffs last year and I hurt my shoulder and I wasn't able to perform, and then I was viewed a certain way, and then I get healthy, I'm able to play well, and now viewed completely different, and the narrative around me is so different. And I think just as a player and really people in life, when you go through like highs and lows, you have to stay consistent and not let your emotions get too high or too low. So even now with all the like praise, you have to find a way to just every day just stay consistent and not let that, because if the goal for me was to be an all-star, that probably would evade me. Like, it probably wouldn't happen. But if the goal every day is to come in the gym, work hard, be a good leader, help the team get better, start stacking some wins when we can, then it could happen. So that's kind of how I view it. Like, I'm not like chasing that, but it is kind of cool, and I appreciate the amount of people that are seeing that and just seeing the value I bring as a player, because I know I work very hard, and it hasn't been that way my whole career where people are appreciating kind of what I bring to the table. So
what have been some of your favorite parts about this organization, or just about this early part of you coming here to Brooklyn?
Yeah, I like because like a lot of teams in the NBA, so I've heard it, if you're losing, and even in Denver, we were one of the best teams in the NBA, but if you lose lose 2 or 3, like the work environment is just terrible. Like, it's just like everyone's just down. It's like the world has ended when you go on a little losing streak. And what I appreciate about this organization is, like, good or bad, the energy stays very consistent from the trainers to the coaches to it's not so much like goal oriented but process oriented, I feel like, here. And I appreciate that because it takes away from like the super highs and lows emotionally of a season. We just come in, we work, we get better, we go play. If we win, great. We're coming in the next day and working hard. If we lose, find things to learn from. We watch film when we win, we watch film when we lose. And I just appreciate the consistency of the organization and the energy that from top to bottom. I feel like that comes from the top. That comes from the front office and their energy, and then that comes from Jordy and how he kind of has structured his staff and everything. So that's something I've been very surprised by. Even, it goes even to like the chef every day, just being joyful to be at work,
Mm-hmm.
Tell him every day, I appreciate you making this amazing food. And he's just happy every day. Like, I appreciate that because if you're going to work every day for 7 months, 6-7 months out of the year, like, you want to be in a positive environment. So I appreciate that.
I know we've talked a lot about Jordy, but just you mentioned the coaching staff in general, to shed some light and love on them, because that's a big part of it. Like, what has stood out most about collectively this coaching staff?
Yeah, everyone's just really just on the same page. And, we got some really smart guys. And I like the player development guys because they're good enough basketball players to actually challenge us in practice. Like, they can guard us, they can go against us, so we actually can get better. So I appreciate that they are able to bring that to the table. I feel like we're growing because of that. But as far as the coaching staff, everyone's just very detail oriented. When it's a certain person's turn to scout, I feel like they take it very personally to try to prepare us as best as possible. And I just feel like they really pour into each guy individually. There's no like missteps, and we're a young team and we're trying to build something here. And I feel like there's no missteps. We all have different coaches that kind of like help us out, but from what I've seen, everyone's very locked in every day.
Nothing compares to catching your Brooklyn Nets live, and nobody knows that better than you. Nets fans, it all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Nets and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can experience all the sights, sounds, and styles in person. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Nets tickets at Ticketmaster. Even if you're headed to the game last minute, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com/Nets.
A couple more things. Walk us through your game day. What is a game day in your life like?
Yeah, a game day. I would say like normally I'll go do the optional shooting in the morning. Sometimes we have walkthrough, shoot around in the morning. Sometimes it's optional. So I'll go get some shots up. I'll come back, eat some breakfast.
What are you eating?
For breakfast, it's normally like 4 or 5 eggs scrambled, some potatoes, some oatmeal, and a smoothie.
Okay.
Pretty well balanced.
Okay.
I'll put like some spinach in my smoothie to get my greens in. And then I normally take an ice bath. So I'll fill up the tub with ice and I'll take an ice bath before I shower. And I feel like that calms me. And so then I'm able to take
ice
a better
bath
nap.
Calms you?
If you take the hot shower after.
Okay.
If you were to get right out of the ice bath.
Okay.
If you take the ice bath and then you take the hot shower, then you're.
You haven't lost your Midwest blood, apparently.
Take the hot shower and then I'm able to sleep pretty well for my nap. So I take about an hour and a half nap, and then I wake up and it's about ready to get on the bus by that point. When I get to the arena, I like to read a little bit before the game.
What are you reading?
Normally it's nonfiction, but right now I'm reading a fiction book that's super interesting. Edge of Collapse. I think it's like a end of the world type thing going on.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty early in the book, but yeah, I mix nonfiction and fiction. Then I do my pregame routine. I do my shooting. I do my stretching. Go to chapel, and then by that time it's 35 o'clock, and we're doing the team meeting.
Is any music involved through this?
Honestly, like, not a ton. I'm not a big dude. We have music playing in the locker room, but I don't have any go-to music. Okay. Some guys like to be very riled up for a game, but I actually tend to feel better when I'm more calm going into it.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's personal preference. Whatever helps you. Like me, I want to feel very calm and just like stable and rather than just feel like erratic,
I like this. Are you superstitious?
Superstitious. No, not in the normal sense, but I always pray. I always, ask God to keep me healthy, keep the team healthy. And I tell him I appreciate him and I'm grateful for the opportunity to play. I always try to be grateful right before I go out on the court. Like, I look around at the stadium and I just look at the fans and I'm like, man, I dreamed of this when I was a kid. Like, help me to play today. Like, it might be the last game that I get to play. Because then every game feels like you're going to play hard if you feel like it might be the last one. So trying to keep a sense of like gratefulness, I feel like through an 82 game season, you can stay pretty like locked in, not just not care about this game or not care about that game.
You can't pick Denver and you can't pick Brooklyn. What is your favorite arena to play in?
Favorite arena to play in? I do like the Lakers arena, and I would say the Golden State's arena. I would say those two. And then Phoenix is up there as well.
Okay. If you had to pick one of your teammates to be a roommate with, who would it be? And you got to say why.
I'm going to say T-Man because I feel like he's closer to my age. And T-Man is just one of those dudes, like the best dude in the world. I can get along with anybody, any age. He's one of the reasons for, the chemistry we have on this team, because I feel like he's one of those dudes you can just throw in any room and he's just going to, get along with anybody. So I'll say probably T-Man. We've hung out some up the court. And he's probably one of my favorite teammates I've had thus far in my career.
Okay. And if you're stuck in an elevator with one teammate for an hour, who would you most like to be with? It can't be T-Man now. And who would you least like to be with?
Who would I most like to be with besides? I'm going to probably say I'll probably get stuck in the elevator with maybe Drake. He seems like a positive guy. I'm gonna say Drake.
That seems in line. Okay.
He seems pretty chill. He's not gonna get too up or too down. Gonna stay pretty positive. Not gonna freak out. The person I would least want to get in the elevator with, probably Day Day, because Day Day I feel like would start tripping. I love Day Day, but I feel like he would just bug out and start like tripping.
That sounds about right. Okay, we're going to play a game, Hot Ticket, presented by Ticketmaster. Experience your Nets live with Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to do a draft, best shooters of all time. You're going to start. We're going to go back and forth and each end up with 5.
Okay.
So you can take whatever time you need or don't need, but you get to choose your first.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go and pick one, and then we're going to keep going down the line.
My first pick in the draft is Stephen Curry.
That's a really good pick. I should have known you were going to pick that, but I think I'm going to go with, maybe it's some bias, but I think I'm going to go with Ray Allen.
Ray Allen, that's a good one. My second pick in the draft is going to be I'm gonna go with second splash. I'm gonna go Clay.
I was hoping you would at least leave me with one.
No.
Then I am going to go with. I'm gonna go with Reggie Miller.
That's who my next pick was. All right, this next one, I'm going for range, so I'm gonna go Dame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're going to go range, I'm going to counter that with just efficiency from the field and go with KD.
That's a good pick.
2 more.
Now I want more.
And it's just we're just on best shooters.
Right. I think it's going to be more modern era just because we shoot more threes now. So it's got to be somebody like closer to this time. Who do I feel like really shoot the ball?
I mean, if you really want to pick yourself, you can.
I was going to, but I know how people are. I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to go, just because I like his form, I'm going to go JJ Redick.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to go JJ. I think he's a good shot. I've always liked how he shoots the ball. Comes off screens.
You got my head about eras, because I was kind of thinking a little Larry Bird.
He can shoot the ball up.
Yeah, I'm going to go Larry.
Larry Bird, that's a good one. And then I'm going to go because I just think that he changed the game from a center standpoint, and he won the 3-point contest. So he's probably the best big man shooter, 3-point shooter. I'm gonna go with Cat. I think because I just think it's dope that he won the 3-point contest as a center.
I love this. Okay.
And I was gonna say Joker just because he has the mid range and the floater, but I'm going 3-pointer. I'm going Cat.
I'm going to close this out in homage of the Nets, and I'm going Drazen Petrovic. We're going to switch that up. Nice. So those are our lists. That's our draft. Michael, thank you so much for your time, for being here. We appreciate it. We have loved, all of us, everyone, Nets fans have loved watching you play a lot more. Nets fans, don't forget. Any fans, don't forget, vote All-Star. We got it coming.
Please, thank you.
This has been another edition of NetsPod with Sarah Kustok. You can find it on the Nets YouTube channel or anywhere that you subscribe and get your podcasts, and we'll see you next time.